Another Sunday, another case of the Scaries to start work week. Welcome to the newest edition of the Sunday Scaries. We have all your gore, lore, and more, covering all the latest horror happenings, slicing open all the latest horror news, and dissecting it bit by bit, finding all those juicy innards. Pour yourself a nightcap and turn your fright lights while we take you on a tour of terror.
Hello, hello.
The beautiful
What's up,
boys
everybody?
are back.
Boys are back in town.
I'll sing
Sorry.
Adrian.
I know it's actually
I like
kind of
it.
funny. I think they're starting to see more of Adrian than they are seeing of us lately
That's
not
with
true.
the streams.
taking
Well,
over.
it'll get there if you keep your schedule up. We're talking it over. We're figuring it out. But that's been a lot of fun. I'm glad to see that that's going really well. Have you been having a good time there?
Oh,
Adrian?
absolutely. Big shouts out to everybody tuning in, watching the playthrough. Violet, appreciate you. Love to hear all the positivity around that. Yeah, everybody who's been popping in. Smiley,
Oh,
Erica, of course. I'm pretty sure I've seen Gannon in there a couple times. I mean, yeah. Endless gratitude. Appreciate you guys.
Oh, yep. And then, of course, we got everybody in the chat here today. It looks like we had a really a nice start today. Wow, we were already at 20 viewers, and it's just getting going. That's crazy. Well, welcome, everybody. We appreciate it. And Gracie's here, as well as Kim and Violet, Penelope, everybody. Yeah, this is great. Awesome. Good stuff. I like to see everybody
Welcome, y'all.
going up on Sundays. It's really surreal, honestly. Like, I don't want to get all sentimental, but like it's definitely surreal. But this week was pretty interesting. I know we didn't end up going to see The Bride. Honestly, I think we've been that one really just slipped my mind, I think, personally, just because like I'm interested in it. I want to see it, but we had a couple other screeners, and then Luke and I on the back end have just been really like, we're getting to the point where we're trying to do multiple lists a week because we think that's going to help not only bring more people, but obviously it's like we have a lot of ideas. We want to get more stuff out to you guys, and with us getting pretty further ahead, this allots us to do this. So some of you guys who are on the Patreon have already seen one of the new bonus lists that I'll announce be coming out tomorrow at 4 p.m. So that one was pretty fun. It was a very different concept, and it's done a little bit differently, but I'm excited. I hope those do well. So sorry for no Bride review, but I think it'll be worth it in the end.
Yeah, and to be honest, I wasn't necessarily sold on The Bride, so I don't know. I haven't looked up any reviews on it, but I don't know. That one just, I understand it's like Bonnie and Clyde, but I don't know. The take was a little, I don't know. I never found my groove with that trailer or found it too intriguing, but I've been watching a lot of stuff this past week just because I've been working on 2 lists. So we have an abundance of content coming out. And I think we also have a screener, I think, sitting in our inbox. I haven't watched it yet.
Yes, I did just get one. I haven't talked to you since Friday, so but that was when they got it to us. It was just another it comes out next week, but it's another Shudder release. We have another one we're going to talk about. Are we going to talk about that towards the end of the show?
Yeah, whenever.
Okay, cool.
Let's
We
keep
can
it
do that.
loosey goosey. I don't know, whenever.
I'm fine with that. Cool. So yeah, we have another one we'll be
Cool.
doing a little review of towards the end of the show that we watched. Again, it's like we're just trying to kind of really get you guys as much of this extra lists, extra content, just really trying to ramp things up. And I think it's going well. I mean, like, there's going to be a lot of fun stuff. And then Adrian and I are currently trying to figure out how we're going to repurpose some of the VODs from his streams. There's a lot of great moments, a lot of funny moments, especially your one from Friday. I will say, as some of you may know, my son loves to watch Uncle Adrian stream. So he has been watching some of those, and he skipped right to when you had a pretty big jump scare. I think that was probably, honestly, the first real time I actually saw fear in your eyes from the game.
Are you talking about when I turned around and the girl was right there?
Yeah, the big monster chick who came down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, yeah, I actually felt my body get cold for a split second when that happened. Couldn't fake that one, dude. Actually, yeah, I had quite a few kind of genuine ones in that first stream when I was just getting used to like how the game was going to be, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Then I learned to expect certain things when I was collecting the 3 quartzes, but now we're moving forward back into the unknown, so we'll see.
Hell yeah. No, it was a good time. It's fun, but we'll be getting those out to you guys as well, just as like, extra pieces. So it's definitely going to be pretty busy. I'm hoping to we get in this thing where for the last couple weeks, it's been trying to figure out what we can do to really ramp things up. And I think the goal is just to try to have, if not something every day, something every other day for the most part, whether it's big or small. And like all that's all going to trickle into the Patreon as well. You guys will always be getting stuff there first. And hopefully if we continue to get things, I'm a little weary, admittedly, to pull the punch on this. I know a lot of you guys have asked for it. Just because, again, I don't know how to integrate the Patreon members and the membership members, because I just want it to be basically the same thing where it's like you just get early access to it. But we'll see what we're doing. We're still messing around with memberships. The goal is just to make sure, as always, if you're paying for extra stuff, we want it to be worth it. So that's where the slow goings are there. But I feel good about what we got coming on. And are there any big movies coming out?
Undertone
is this week.
I believe so, isn't it?
That is this week, isn't it? Ooh.
Oh yeah, I'm so.
Oh, that's the sound one we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into it. I'm excited. I'm feeling it in my bones right now. I can't.
Yeah,
wait.
we had an opportunity to see that, like a screening for that, but it was in Columbus. So it's one of those things where we were like, I don't know if we can make it out there. Just for the round trip, it would be like a 3.5 hour, almost 4 hour long round trip for us all the way. So we will see.
Yeah, we'll see. I haven't actually looked up showtime, so I don't know if it's going to be, a little bit of a drive or it's going to be right down the road.
But we'll find out. I'm
excited. That's one I definitely want to make time to go see that one because it looks phenomenal.
Gotcha. I see some other people in here talking about some of the things they've watched recently. We got Rob saying, oh my God, I tried to watch Predator Badlands. I ranted to my wife about the inaccuracies for longer than I could suffer through the movie. Damn.
Oh,
well,
man.
I'm sorry it didn't connect with you, Rob. That sucks, but it's one we definitely had a lot of fun with. My birthday hasn't happened yet, but thanks. I mean, the climax of the movie happened on 2/3. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, because she was in reference to Psycho Killer here. Gracie did not heed our warning and went and saw it. So but yeah, no, I mean it's a movie for sure. You get to watch some pictures move. So
some people talk,
some things happen. Sometimes.
Orgies to be had, I guess. I don't know.
There is.
Oh.
Yes.
Haven't seen any of the Predators. Wow.
Jeez. And then there's a lot of people saying The Bride was pretty good. Gracie said Bride was meh, but she really liked Dolly. So that's cool.
Hell yeah. Glad that's
spoiling
out
us
there.
with the content, but we love it. I appreciate that, Kim. We appreciate you. Gannon actually bringing up a movie that we are hinting at. We'll be discussing a little bit later. Crazy Old Lady. So yeah, very, very interesting film. And then let's see. Oh yeah, Brandon saw Dolly. It was definitely disturbing, but one of those I don't think has the rewatch value for me. It's a very simple, straightforward movie. I think it's one of those things where, to me, it will pair nicely if we get a really good sequel for some, where it's like, I could understand some people, especially you being someone who watches a lot of slashers and it's part of your diet. It's a big part of your diet where it's like, they're not doing anything that's going to overly impress you. You can, I think, appreciate what they're doing, but it's not something you want more meat. And I get that. I get that 100%. I think it's just one of those where it's like Dolly, for us, I think was just such a nice surprise because usually those movies just don't work. They always find a way to muck it up somehow.
And especially when we get so many different screeners and stuff. And you would think that slasher subgenre should be an easy kind of equation to solve, but they tend to be more misses than hits. And I understand what Brandon's saying, where it's like, I don't know if the rewatch values there. I think, Dylan, you're totally right, where if we get a sequel to that, I think that the original is going to complement the sequel. But it's like, when we get these films and we see a handful of them that just don't hit and they're very basic slashers, and it's like, you guys just never got the parts in place to make me care about this film. When you actually watch Dolly, it's like, oh my gosh, someone who actually knows how to do the subgenre right. And I think that's where Dolly is the most fun, where it does have that disturbing nature of it, but it does harken back to a lot of things that we've seen that were done well. And that's what I think we have I don't know what you would call it, more in-depth review up on the channel right now, where we Dylan interviewed Rod Blackhurst, and where he does talk about maybe we're going to get more. At least the plan is he would hopefully like at least like 2 more installments. So if we get that texture, I think having that trilogy, if we get that, or even just a direct sequel, will be a fun kind of 1-2 punch for an evening viewing. Especially, I think the more we get into these warm months and just rewatching Dolly, I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch that, like July, August, when it's just way, way hot, and it's like, oh man, I can feel that heat, just like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I also, sorry, I know I did not catch this, Luke, until we went full screen here. What's up with Jack Delroy in the background there? I never noticed that. When did you get that?
Oh, I just put it up. I've had
Okay.
this actually for a very long time, and it's been sitting off screen for a while. And then today I was like, you know what? Let me just put that up earlier. So yeah, actually, me and my wife watched Late Night with the Devil last night, and it kind of motivated me to finally put that one up. So, you know, I love David Dishmalsh just over there pointing, gives me motivation.
I love it. I think it works perfectly. It's it's one of those things where, because it was right behind the logo, I didn't catch it at first. I was actually just like watching you, and then I just saw the I was looking at how you swapped the mask back from Scream to Michael, and that's when I caught it. So the logo was doing too much.
Yeah, I didn't even realize who that was back there. I did love his character in that film.
Oh my gosh, I haven't rewatched that one in so long, and it just gives you
It's
those
been like 2
feels
years
again.
for me.
It's so good when you go back and rewatch it, because it's like, you know, it's totally deserves to be in a Halloween rotation. Like October, my gosh, that's prime viewing right there.
Yeah, it looks like we got a lot of people here saying they're still planning on checking out Dolly. We got a lot of love for Cold Storage, and I did actually
out on
just
digital.
get yes, it's out on digital. And I do actually have a hookup for that, so I think we can get a copy, or at least we can get access to watching it. So if you want to give that around soon, I know we're talking about doing a catch up for this year of just kind of like things we've already missed, stuff like that, just kind of like rounding it out before, once we get to the midpoint.
Yeah, because there's a handful of things that apparently are fairly good that we haven't checked out yet. So I think we have an abundance for some sort of video list, whatever we want to do.
Absolutely. Yep. Smiley saying they liked it as well with Dolly. And then Gracie, I'm so pretentious. I was sitting there and watching Dolly like, yes, I see. This is about generational trauma. Hey, you're not wrong. You know, like it's definitely got some messages there. They're just not like, you know, trying to, you know, the thing about Dolly is like, it's just, they're not trying to really twist you up into a pretzel to really blow your mind or anything. They're not trying to, you know, do anything special with it. They're just saying, hey, we got a cool character with a halfway as interesting backstory here. We want to show you some cool kills and maybe give you just enough of something to say, would you come back and watch us do something with a little bit more money? And it's like, yeah, I would. I'd watch it 4 more times. So there you go.
I want to dress up like Dolly. I don't even need the mask. Just give me the dress.
Which of you 3 sold your souls for YouTube glory? Probably me. No, I'm kidding. I don't think we've sold our souls yet. I feel like we're doing all right. It's a slow grind, but I think that's what you got to do if you're doing the in my mind, like doing this now for a couple of years. And Luke, maybe you can chime into this. I think like there's 2 paths with YouTube. There's the uber successful right off the rip, you get a viral video, and then that just becomes what you're striving for forever. And then there's people like us who've just kind of like, we've made a lot of mistakes as far as just like where and how to move our content, how to build stuff on here. It's a lot of learning, and that's like honestly the boring answer, but that's what the honest answer is. It's like I'm literally watching tip videos, reading up on new changes to the algorithm on a daily basis. Like it is just something I follow religiously, and I think that's the key to the best success.
Yeah, I think so as well, where it's just like you said, some people get a viral video and then kind of keep chasing what made them that famous, or kind of getting those types of views, and that was not us, certainly. Yeah, we had a couple of videos, I think, for us was like when we say like pop off, or like over 1,000 views, you know, and it was like such a big deal. But there was such a long period of time there where we were excited when we got it. Like at the time we were putting out podcast episodes, so they were like over an hour long, and we were excited when we got over 100 views on something. So yeah, it was like a pretty
big
long
deal.
process. Yeah, it was a long process to kind of start getting into regular subscribers, regular views and stuff like that. But even now, it just seems like no matter if we have 64,000 subscribers, it always feels like, since it is that slow progression, it never feels like we are like, oh my gosh, finally we're where we want to be. You know, that we're always looking at the next thing. So it's just kind of, it's a weird headspace to be in, because it's like when we would have started and said, oh man, 64,000 subscribers, we'd be like, man, that's when we're cruising. But now it's like you're there and you're still kind of just looking at the next thing to be like, oh yeah, we have to hit this milestone or that milestone. So yeah, it is it's an interesting concept.
No, if we can sit here and mansplain some YouTube tips to everybody, we'll do it. I don't know if mansplain's the right way, but we'll riff about it, because like again, it's a very, like, it's funny. It seems like no matter who I interact with or Luke interacts with when it comes to YouTube and stuff, if you're somebody who's a creator, at some point during your first meeting, you're gonna have that moment where that person, depending on if you're the bigger channel or they're not, where they're gonna ask you, hey, what do you do to like get bigger? What do you do? It's like there's always that. So it's so funny, because it's like I feel like everybody expects people who like have a bigger giant following. Like Luke said, it's one of those where it's like it doesn't phase you like that, because like you're growing with it. It feels like, you know, I just know you guys as you guys who are watching it. You know, the channel names, the usernames, like that's what sticks out to me the most, I think. Like when I see like you guys comment, like Gannon or Gracie or Rob or somebody or Violet or anybody like comment on that or in the lives, like those are what really stick with me, I think, as opposed to like all the numbers like going by. Because then once you see like, you know, like to some people like 100K is nothing, and it's like that's crazy to me. Like that feels like it should be life changing. It's so weird. It's
Yeah.
just it's always going to probably be that way, and I think that's just kind of the nature of the beast with any of it. Like you just, if you're doing it every day, you get desensitized a little.
Yeah, because you're always living in the same space. You know what I mean? It's like you're, like you said, you're growing with it. So you just see everything climb, you know, and when you see like a jump like 10, you know, it's not a big deal. It's like, oh, okay, you know, because you're just there all the time. But I'll tell you, it is so much fun to remember when we put out videos and we wouldn't get any sort of feedback, you know, where it's like 0 comments, 1 comment, where it's just like an emoji or something like that. But now when you put out these lists and we see everyone that's here in the Sunday Scaries comment, like always, like they're like the first, it is such a wild experience to know that we have built this community. And it's like we know that regardless of how many views a video gets, we know we're going to have support from the usual suspects, the people that we recognize their usernames and stuff like that. It's very funny that we have people that are like, oh, there's a new Splattercast video, so I should check it out. Or it's Sunday night.
It is
so
weird when people say, because I've said stuff like that, like as a joking kind of like supportive thing to people in the comments growing up and stuff. And it's like, it's so strange, like to have people saying stuff like that. Like it's weird. Like I don't think we've met anybody in person yet. I other than like through people, really, but like nobody in person yet has approached us. I know Evans had that, and I actually was there for Jake a couple times when that happened. But yeah, like that's that would probably be the next big like WTF moment if someone was like, oh, I watch your channel and stuff like that. Like that'll be crazy. But I think like for the most part, yeah, if there's no secret to any of this shit, like it is just what it is. And I hate to say that, it's just figure out what kind of content you want to make, and just make sure it's something that you enjoy doing or that you can find love for. Like we never certainly thought we'd go the route of list videos, but like it worked. It got us some pop, and then we actually found a lot of fun with it. We found ways to make it our own and kind of do our own thing with it. And, you know, we definitely go with the trends and stuff at times. There's certain topics where it's like, yeah, it's like, you know, I'm going to talk about this because people want me to. But then there's other stuff where it's like the reaction videos, like that started off as just, damn, I was like watching these movies on my own, freaking out. And I'm like, what if I just recorded this? And it's like, there you go. So it's like, that's just what it is. So I think that's the best way to do it. Honest to God, I hate to be the stick in the mud loser and say there's no secret hack to all this shit, but it's just consistency and having fun, because at the end of the day, that's all you got. When something flops, I hope you had fun making it, because that's really all it is for a long time. And that's kind of the best thing about it, is like, you know, it just kind of, it should overtake you in a way that like, oh, it's becoming a job, you know?
yeah, and that's what it's like. I know Gracie, it's like one of those things, there is no, you know, rhyme or reason, like Dylan said. It's just kind of, so you're going to make a video and it's going to hit. And then we're in the same spot where it's like, you'll have a video that really does hit and the next video just does not produce the same numbers. You know what I mean? There is no rhyme or reason to it. It's just kind of honestly building a community, having fun with it. And I think to circle back to us trying to do these midweek lists, I think, that's going to be a lot more fun, even though it's going to be more work. And I think it's going to be a lot more fun for everyone, including us, just because we get to try new things rather than it's like, we're not sure what the appetite is for this, but it's an intriguing concept, so we're going to put it out there and see if people really enjoy it. So that's not as much of there's not as much pressure there, where it's like we can really just have fun with it, see what people are going to absorb, and be able to test out different kinds of content. Things I'm sure Dylan has, because I know I do, a list where it's like ones that are going to be good content, and ones that will be like, I don't know how this is going to work, but I'd love to try it, so it's like, and that list has been ever growing.
Those are stressful videos, because I feel like I always catch myself halfway through it being like, what am I doing? I've just wasted all this time on this, and it's like, it's not making sense. It's usually when I have to re-record certain bits and I lose time, I'm like, oh god, because I misspoke, or it's stuff, and it's like still stuff gets away from me. Like it's one of those where it's like that, and I think like it's starting to get easier. There's a rhythm to it, and it's all a lot of self-discipline. But I did want to say, just to throw in there too, Gracie, please don't be so hard on yourself with your videos. Your videos are awesome. They are 4 hours long, but I think that's, again, when a channel, you find that stuff where it's like they're doing like these 4 hour long essays or something, like they are truly beasts of their own, and once they catch. Like, I mean, Evan, his were 30-40 minute videos of basically video essays, and he would do them for less than 100 views at times, and then just one caught, and then that's all it took. So it's like, that's it. So
yeah, and I need 4 hour videos in my life. I do these 8 hour drives between Ohio and Tennessee, and it's a very specific time I go to those types of videos, but at the time that I do it, there's no other video I'd rather be watching too.
Yeah, there's definitely there's an art to YouTube where it comes to that, where it's like it's become my main source of just like, I love to like listen to that. I love to like check in with people, podcasts, and all varying different kinds. Like my wife, I can't blow up her spot or anything, but my wife does dabble into TikTok stuff, and they've been doing that for a little over a year. And like, they're seeing some stuff grow on there, and it's a different beast entirely. Like, we talk about our stuff because there is a lot of similarity with like editing and things, but we talk about like her stuff's all short form and our stuff's a lot longer. So it's very different headspaces. So it's weird, but I think that's part of the best thing is just, have fun doing it. Cause if you're really just trying to do it to make money, it's going to be the most soul crushing experience you will ever find. I promise. It's not worth it. Like it is awful if you're going for that shit. Oh, Adrian, don't drive and watch 4 hour long videos.
I gotta breathe or fix myself real quick. I meant to say listen to long videos, tier lists, and deep dives, Wendigoon.
I don't know how Luke feels about this. I honestly, I really appreciate stuff like this because it is so ungodly stressful to me to keep up with every like interaction post that we have when it comes to Instagram, emails, friggin' Patreon. I'm not gonna lie, guys, other than updating stuff on there, I just about have a panic attack every time I open up Patreon, just because I always forget that people will message in there and say things, and then I'll read through it and it'll have been weeks since I've seen it, and I'm just like, I feel like trash and I'm sorry. And it always feels like it's one of those where it's like, I got to get the video put in there and then I want to close it and hide under a table. So I'm getting better about it and I'll get there, but it's just part of the process. We are still learning. So thank you.
Yeah. I mean, with social media, there's just so much going on, in terms of being able to tackle different things. And I know at least, I don't know if there's an app for Patreon or not. I don't have it on my phone. So it's like the only time I ever see anything is when we get a notification in the email, and it's like, by then it's like buried by, several different emails of random either spam things that are trying to get our passwords, or
spam has been awful. Like the last year, it's like, every important email gets buried by like 6 spam emails within a 2 hour spam. It's stupid. I've been blocking stuff, and I even have a Nord like NordVPN, one of our sponsors, like running their little like anti-malware, antivirus, and then like they're supposed to be checking stuff for ad block on our email, but I don't think it works. I'm starting to have doubts or I screwed something up because it doesn't feel like it's doing anything.
Could be a bigger target.
Nah, I don't even think so. But we'll figure it out. We're gonna get better at it, and I do appreciate all the support, guys. And yeah, I seriously, I think like at most, if there's anything that we can do, like as far as just like if you guys would even want it, like I would be more than happy just to like set aside some kind of random free like sit down in a studio like a StreamYard studio and just like talk with a couple of you guys about like ideas, things like that, because Adrian knows like when he was talking about making his switch and everything and going to do from a in the field job to a work from home position and do more of the stuff on the channel, it's like I can riff and go on this for hours. Like there's just so much like stupid stuff I've learned over the years in my brain that I could just sit here and talk about. So
wealth of knowledge, the gold at the end of the rainbow, if you will.
I'm sorry, Gannon. I try. I really do. But I do love it. I do really appreciate it. Like I know Gannon's very active in there. I know many of you are. I know Mama Mayhem has popped up in there, as well as Penelope is always popping in there. There's a ton of you. Violet. I mean, really, a lot of you guys who watch the Sunday Scaries always show so much support, and it's crazy. It's like it means so much. But I think enough of that. I know there's a lot of people in here who are like, oh my God, these guys are just going to talk about how much we all love each other and be all gushy gooey for another hour and a half. Why don't we move into some news? Because I know we got a lot of good stuff to talk about, some surprising trailers and announcements that I am very excited about. And I know Luke is very excited about. Adrian, we hope you're excited as well.
I am excited, actually.
I just want to expand upon more of the gushy and gooey stuff. So
okay, fair. That is Splattercast after all.
Ooh,
gushy
all right,
and gooey.
Let's get into our first.
Very on brand for us.
All right, you guys ready?
No,
who's ready?
We're good. We're going.
I'm out of goo.
Here we go. Stay off the streets of New York because they're about to get a little more dangerous as a new Maniac cop film is rumored to start production this fall. With properties like The Toxic Avenger and Silent Night, Deadly Night getting new life, it looks like this B-horror movie property is getting the same treatment. Nicholas Winding Refn is slated to write and direct the remake, while original director William Lustig is set to executive produce. Lustig broke the news in a recent interview and added the property has been in development hell for the last decade, but is now slated to be Refn's next project. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I was very, very excited to hear some sort of update on Maniac Cop. I do absolutely love the franchise in general, but I really do love that original film. I don't think it gets enough love. I think people are coming around to it, but it was such a B-horror movie for so long that I think it went overlooked. And I am so excited that we are actually going to get a feature film because I don't know if you guys kept up on what was exactly going on, but it looked like we were going to get a feature film. Then I think we were going to get a TV series. And then with the whole HBO Discovery thing, they said no go. And we weren't really sure what was going to be going on. So now it looks like we're actually on a path to get a new Maniac Cop here in the next few years.
I'm super excited about this. To be honest, sorry, when this got announced, I was trying to really look back at some of this, look at the screenshots, look at everything. I know there's 2 Maniac Cops. I don't know if I've seen both of them or sections of both. So before this comes out, I'm definitely going to be revisiting them because they are something I've been wanting to get back into because they do kind of have that, like you said, Toxic Avenger, Grindhouse kind of sleaziness to them.
Yeah.
And I mean, Bruce Campbell is involved in at least the first one, correct?
And the second one. So there's 3 total.
Okay, cool. Oh, and 3. Okay. See,
yeah, so
I'm still so far out on this, but I'm excited because this is a franchise again. I really want to get into. I know Luke is very big on this one. So, this is one that's going to be exciting to kind of jump on board, but also I'm a huge Nicholas Winding Refn fan. I even like some of the stuff people don't like from him, like Only God Forgives and Neon Demon.
Yeah.
They're weird movies, but this is a weird property that needs a weird guy, in my opinion. So.
I don't really know a whole lot about the movies, Toxic Avenger, Silent Night, Deadly Night. But I do know about Nicholas Winding Refn because obviously, I was there when Dylan was watching through Drive. And then what was the one where, the one that we all clowned on?
Only God Forgives.
Yeah, that one. That was pretty freaky. That the specific scene that I'm thinking about right now. Something involving slicing somebody up.
I've talked about it. Yep. it's
the wound scene. As soon as I saw his name was on it, I was like, I already know Dylan's got foam at the mouth right now.
Yeah, it's I said in my video, it is a movie that I will defend because I enjoy. I think it's weird. It's kind of got its own synthy vibe thing that's doing, but it is one of those things I will never ever sit here and say, hey, is are we gonna why don't you love this? I'm not gonna sit here and judge anybody. It's a very strange fucking movie. There's a lot of weird off-putting shit. Same thing for Neon Demon. I'm not gonna sit there and judge anybody for being like, I don't fuck with this at all. Why are you showing this to me? They wouldn't be my first movie night.
I haven't seen Neon Demon yet, but
I'm looking at it now.
Only God Forgives, Drive have such an interesting aesthetic to them, and that's what I'm excited here because I've seen all the Maniac Cops. A lot of people like the sequel, and I really do enjoy the direct sequel, but I have such a love for that first film because it really does. It's kind of like solving the mystery of what exactly is going on, getting the franchise started. And I like that concept of it, especially if Refn focuses in on that. I think there's an element in the sequel that if you wanted to kind of combine that into it, I think could be interesting because the Maniac Cop, whatever you're going to call him, Cordell, meets a kind of another killer in the sequel. And I think that could be an interesting, really dark, gritty aspect to it if you want to implement that. But it's I think probably looking at Maniac Cop from the 80s, it's a fun slasher. It's got that cheese to it. You know what I mean? But it's also got that grittiness to it. I think if Refn does it, we might just shed any sort of cheese and kind of go more of an elevated style that we're used to seeing him do with a lot of properties. And I think that conceptually that works because it's especially looking at a social commentary, if you want to, he dresses up like a police officer. He was a police officer and now he's killing people. It's you can really have an interesting commentary if that's the route you want to go with, or if you just want to have a really dark, gory, neon soaked kind of journey film. I think you can also do that as well. And the one thing I love about Maniac Cop is they're not afraid to kill their main characters in all these installments. And it happens in a very jarring way. And it happens well, what is next? Because it's never at the end of these films. It's always kind of in the middle. And it's oh man, I love that storytelling where we're so used to seeing what the slasher subgenre had become. And then this coming out in 88, which was really kind of, I think Maniac Cop was a bridging a gap in a sense from the late 80s into the 90s of what horror was going to be. Because especially when you look at Maniac Cop 2, it's very action heavy, but still has those horror elements to it. So I think this could be really interesting to see him reignite this. I'd love to get some mileage out of this. And, Tom Atkins was in the original. If we want to kind of take those story beats, why not cast Bruce Campbell in the Tom Atkins role nowadays? Would be a lot of fun. Just to have a familiar face pop up. I think a lot of people would be really intrigued by that.
I was about to say, it's one of those things where I was going to ask you, do you think there's room or a space for Bruce Campbell to come back? So that's good to hear that there's a good spot for him, or at least a role that would make sense. Because I would love that. I think it would be really great. I know that Refn's a weird dude, kind of just on the outside, but I've seen a lot of interviews with him, that he's just done at the Cannes Film Festival, stuff like that, with smaller YouTube channels who are just there. And when you hear him talking about this stuff, and I absolutely agree with that, Kim. That's a very apt way to put that. Actually, I agree. Two sleazy movies, just very different kinds of sleaze. But it's, for me, I think the thing with him is he's such a fanboy of the slasher genre. He talks about it constantly in his press coverage for what was it was Only God Forgives, where he was talking about how much he loves slashers and how much he loves neon dripping like slashery stuff like that. He's all about that. So that's his whole like MO. And I feel like, yeah, if you kind of bring somebody like that and he can pull that back a little bit, but still stick within the tones of like a really weird kind of out there world, I think you're right. I would say if you're going to have the most fun with it, in my opinion, I would say stay kind of away from the social messaging as much. I would say in that first one, just do like a light, like kind of maybe smattering of it. Cause I think you're going to get a lot of people who are just going to dog on it because they're going to say that it's being political, when I think it's just one of those things where it's like, you can't do anything without it being political today. So I would say if they're going to have fun with it and really lean into that, I'd say really lean into the craziness aspect of him just being this, crazed cop or whatever it is. So
Yeah, and I think, even the original doesn't lean heavy into any sort of social commentary. It just kind of, adds that element of distrust when you're dealing with a cop killing people, and then you're supposed to be going to the police that are trying to solve the case, because there isn't really, other than maybe one character in there isn't really, the police aspect does not look bad, other than kind of Cordell doing what he's doing. And I think, he doesn't have to lean heavy in those elements. I think Refn has such an intriguing style and is able to achieve that grit through the lens that I think Maniac Cop needs. This could be a lot of fun. I think, especially when you look at him as a director, and sometimes these properties get revitalized and it's not the best person that's put behind the lens or kind of be that driving force to see where the actual franchise is going to go. I think Refn can have that vision. Especially, it intrigues me that we went from a feature film to a TV series back to a feature film, because I'm curious to see what kind of content, depending on, it was probably going to be at least 8 episodes. So it's like, what kind of content, what kind of story arc were we looking at when this was a TV series, and how is it going to implement? Is that going to be the same thing?
And
different?
I read this like on, what did this drop on Thursday or Friday? Because I read this when it first came out. It was a while ago. Yeah, so it was Monday. Holy shit, man! The week is just really smashing together. But when this dropped, I initially read it. So like, if I understand this correctly, Nicholas Winding Refn himself, he's not been attached the entire time, has he?
As a producer.
As a producer. Okay, I got you. So he's been, but he wasn't always going to be in the director's chair.
No.
So, okay. All right. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, then that is cool. Because I know one thing is he did a series recently. I have not watched it yet, but it is intriguing. I do want to check out some of his stuff. Because like some of his other movies, like Valhalla Rising, very interesting, gritty, brutal movie with Mads Mikkelsen. Not a lot of dialogue in it, but it's pretty good. But like, yeah, it's one of those things where he's kind of been out of the spotlight for a while now. So I'm excited to see with this one if he's going to kind of come back to that kind of drive approach to it. And I only say that in the sense of, is he going to make this one more accessible for everyday audiences, or is this going to be the weird Nicholas Winding Refn that we've gotten used to seeing? So
yeah, because he did that TV series you're referring to. I think it has Miles Teller in it, doesn't it?
I think so.
I thought it did deal with police, didn't it, or something like that? I'll look it up and see what we get, because I remember wanting to check that out and I never got around to it. And then I was even thinking of it as this news had popped up, because I remember people being kind of one way or another with that TV series. And I still want to check it out, because I think it could be interesting, especially now that we know he's doing Maniac Cop, to see if we draw any sort of comparison to that kind of grittiness or dealing with that subject matter, and see what we could get, because he has a very versatile filmography. Like I totally forgot about Valhalla Rising until you just brought it up, and I was like, I remember getting that DVD like one of the first DVDs when I worked at a used media store. Oh wow. Just being like, why is this DVD go for so much money, and having no idea of the concept and stuff like that. And I love that film. And it was after I'd seen Drive, and I was aware of the director, at that time. But I was like, I think
that's where a lot of people really picked up on it. It was either that or Just Before with Bronson is where most people found him. Yeah.
And Bronson was another one for me that was really great as well. Like, I've loved that performance. I've loved, he just has an eye for that grittiness. You know what I mean? Like, some things that we're like, why can't you get this right? He always does it great.
Yeah, I think he's definitely somebody that, like, if you don't if you let him off leash too much, he can really run out there into the weird stuff and lose a lot of people. But he's somebody that's like, it's a lot like, I know I put him in a category, not like Rob Zombie is like that, but like there's somebody that like they've built enough goodwill to me to where it's like, I will at least check out what you're doing because I think that you're interesting enough. You're always trying enough stuff. And like when you've made a movie like Drive, to me, that's just something that's so pinnacle to my like cinema growth. Like as somebody who grew up in 2011, 2012, 13 era of that, it's like, damn, damn, really, Brandon, you didn't care for Bronson? That's crazy. That movie, I rarely hear people express any distaste for that one. That's cool. But the show also was Too Old to Die Young, by the way.
Yes, yep, I just found it too. I was about to mention it. Yeah,
I guess he's actually done a couple of shows. Copenhagen Cowboy. I'm not sure what this one is, but it's also says that it's a little short-lived miniseries. Where are these come? Oh, this is Netflix. Bro's just been like
on
making movies on
content.
I know and then he has The Famous Five, which is a BBC show. So, it is what it is. I'm excited to see him come back, and especially with like a series like this, it's cool. I'm ready to see him do something big and really come back to the big screen if we're gonna do it. I appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, it's like it's one of those things to me where it's like I will definitely be there for this no matter what. I'm definitely eager to check out the old ones now, give them a real proper rewatch, especially them being Bruce Campbell property. And I did see some people bring it up already. I did want to say that, yeah, it is unfortunate news that Bruce Campbell was diagnosed with cancer, but he is fighting it. So, we'll see how things go with that. I'll keep you guys posted. Obviously, I think everybody's going to be kind of keeping an eye on it, but from what I understand, it's treatable, right? Like from what I gather,
not curable but treatable. So
yeah, that was the quote. So
it's like it's always a big battle. Being so personally affected by it over the past few years here has been how thief of joy cancer is, in terms of everything. So it's like hopefully, his health maintains and everything. It'd be great, selfishly, to see him continue to work and, be able to grace our screens for different things and be that familiar face in horror that we absolutely love. But, it's like always keeping him in our thoughts and like hoping for the best, because it's, you never know what to expect with that. But at least we've heard that it is, treatable. So hopefully, he can continue to do what he loves and what we love to see him do, because it's like there's always a spot for him in horror.
Yeah, and one of the things that was like really exciting to me was, and I hope they do it, especially because like if this is the case, and obviously it's like if it is something he's going to have a lot of ups and downs. It's like I would love if they could get that animated Evil Dead off the ground, because how he talked about wanting to do a voice for that, and that would be his like preferred way to bring Ash back. I think they should pursue it. I think that would be wonderful, especially if you could have like, and I'm just throwing this out there, really just thinking off the top of my dome here, but like people that I know who love this stuff and like who animate, like Meat Canyon, get like a bunch of people like that, like the people who do, I'm sure they are fans of it as well. The people who do like Smiling Friends and stuff like that, because that show's ending. What if you got like a team like that? Like Sam Raimi brought people in there and they did an animated like, season or even continuation of Ash versus Evil Dead. Like that would be awesome. And then that way he gets to, continue on doing with the character. He's already expressed an interest in wanting to do that. I think that's a big win, and honestly a really nice way for not only the fans but the community, everybody, to just pay tribute to Bruce Campbell. Let him like really say like, if this is how we got to get our guy playing the character he wants to play, then let's do it.
Absolutely. It's like we've talked about it a couple weeks ago when we were covering the upcoming Evil Dead releases, where it's such a lucrative franchise in terms of creativity, where it's like you could have these feature length films in the theater, and then I think Evil Dead is one of those properties that's prime for an animated take as well, because it is so wacky. It is just a lot of fun, especially, when you look at something like Army of Darkness, you've time traveled in there, it's like really everything's on the table. So when you look at having an animated medium for the franchise, that could be very, very fun, because that could really just take the reins off it. We don't have to worry about, practical effects or anything like that. Really just get really fun with it, especially that being Bruce Campbell being interested in it, and really just the fans loving the Evil Dead franchise and wanting to see Ash back. It would be so much fun. It'd be such a love letter for horror fans to just be able to gush about it and just be able to turn that on and have a lot of fun with it, because there are no boundaries. You can really just do anything you want there, and it would just be great to turn off your brain, enjoy Bruce Campbell as Ash once again, and just see what kind of wacky adventures he would get into.
Damn, that's awesome, Penelope. Meeting Bruce in 95. Jeez, that's crazy. I'm
Back
very
out of
jealous.
this time right there. Fire.
And then Necro bringing up this, I did see this actually earlier this month, I believe, or it was last month. Somebody just
I just learned about that like 2 days ago. Crazy stuff. Never know what's going to come up.
Yeah.
How many of these people are going to be found dead by a gun wound to the back of the head?
Who? Though the people curing cancer?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's in Minecraft. But yeah. Anyway, it's I don't know. This is something that like I still don't know if I can get behind yet. It really depends solely on how it works and what it does. Like if it's a straight up like basically we recreate them and we can use them in limited capacity, and then all the money goes to the family.
Yeah.
And they want to do that, I guess. I mean, it's going to be one of those things where necessarily the fact of them doing it and trying to do it is not really the issue anymore. It's the fact that like it's going to happen. You got to get people on board. And I'm just not sure. It's like it's just such a weird, like odd place to be. You know what I mean? Like somebody who's dead, just like we're using their likeness and their image in a sense. Like I understand for people who have done it for like if they died mid-project or something like that, and you got to kind of finish some things and you want to make sure that you get it going, but like just selling your likeness, or the idea of, especially people who've like multi-generations, like the great grandkids of certain stars who were big back in the day, just being like, yeah, I'm going to sell my great granddad's likeness so we can make some more money off it. It just, there's something very dystopian about that, and I don't like thinking about it, so I'm sorry. Like that's just where I'm sitting with it, Necro. I apologize, I couldn't give you a more fun answer.
Yeah, it's a very complicated issue in terms of AI and things like that, because we're all negative on the usage of AI, but it's like opening up that door. I really don't know what to think on it, in terms of like selling your likeness for AI usage and things like that, because it's like I never really thought about it until as we're talking about it at this moment, because it's such a fresh concept that we've never had to deal with any sort of issues like that. So it's like, what do you do? And it's kind of like what they've had so many films with, just kind of throwing actors' faces on top of CGI bodies and things like that. We've seen it in a handful of properties, and that's always been an intriguing talking point. Now, as we get into AI, that's going to be an even bigger talking point. But yeah, Bubba Hotep, fucking awesome. I love that.
What a way to get out of that one.
Yeah.
I feel you. I'm like, hell yeah. I at least wanted to bring it up. It's like that, and then Dex brought up Black Friday. Both Black
Friday is underseen. I
underrated as hell. That one's
Michael Jai White's in that too. That was my selling point. Bruce Campbell, Devin Sawa, and Michael Jai White. I was like, oh my god.
That's got to be this year's like Thanksgiving highlight. We've been meaning to do it. I think we meant to do it one year, or we put it in a list or something, and it was when like we didn't have very much traction. So it's like now that like people watch some of our videos, I think we should try to highlight that one, because I need more people to see it, because that was one even I was late to. Like Luke was like, dude, you got to watch Black Friday. It took him like 2 or 3 Thanksgivings to get me to actually watch it, and it was just like I was in the mood. I think it was right after we watched. I think it was right after I showed you Thanksgiving. That was the first time I watched it, and then the next year we watched it because then we had like Thanksgiving and all that stuff. So yeah, that's one we got to do.
Absolutely, I'm always excited to talk about that one. It's a fun concept, and I remember the cast alone sold me on it. Didn't need to know anything else about it, but then finding out it takes place on Black Friday and the subject matter of that one, I was like, okay. I am all in here. But great film. Bubba Hotep is another one that, man, what a great concept. Bruce Campbell's just, again, he's a gem. He excels in everything that they give him. That film is so much fun.
You'd love that one too, Adrian. I think you'd get with it.
I add that to the list. The big list.
Well, damn, Mr. Boone. Fine, I feel you. Nah, I heard some so-so things about it, honestly, when it came out. That's why it's like when Luke said it was good, it's like, all right, I'll give it a go. Like, it took me some time still to get to it. I think that was just more of an availability thing. I don't know. Is that on your, because that's on your Vudu now?
Yeah, it's
isn't
on my
it?
Vudu,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay. Because, yeah, it's one of those where it was like, I know it was bouncing around a bunch of the free streaming services for a couple of years there, so. But it's, you know, you don't have to twist my arm for a good holiday monster horror, especially with Bruce Campbell. So
it hits you right in those feels. You know, it's a great cast. I love that it's
good
around the
effects.
holidays, and you know, it's like in the subject matter's a lot more fun. So, yeah, I understand why it doesn't work. I know I've heard so things about it as well, and I understand some of the criticisms that go into it. But it's just, again, one of those films you can have fun with, turn off your brain, and just have a really good time with.
I just really like the cast. I think in that movie, that's probably the thing that sold me the most on it. Because, yeah, it's like once you've gotten away from the hype of it, it's like I like all the, like Devon Sawa and Bruce Campbell together. All the chemistry there is great. Like you said, Michael Jai White's being great. Oh, hey, by the way, with the Smiling Friends Halloween episode, I'd kill for an Evil Dead cartoon similar to that. See, Mr. Boone is a Smiling Friends aficionado, so he would know. And that validates my thoughts and feelings. So thank you, sir. That would be amazing. I'm telling you, animated Evil Dead, make it happen. Let's go.
It'd be dope, dude. I don't see why not. It'd be edgy as fuck. It'd be colorful. I mean, it'd be a good time.
Hell yeah. Speaking of edgy as fuck, colorful, let's talk about the next story, which I'm actually super excited to talk about this. Oh, what a treat this trailer was. It was a fun little lead up to it as well. So
very unexpected surprise.
We actually, can we at least say we just brought it up last week with the poster, and we were all talking about the excitement for it and building up the hype and everything. And now here we go. We have proof of life, folks, because here it is.
Here we are.
Gosh, it looks so good, dude.
Alrighty, well, it looks like the team behind the Twisted Child universe will be pulling our strings this May when Pinocchio Unstrung is slated to hit theaters. We talked about the poster last week, and the trailer dropped this past week, upping the ante when it comes down to the chilling imagery. Getting our first look at Pinocchio in action, it looks like enlisting the talents of Todd Masters has paid off, as it looks like this newest installment in the TTCU has caught the attention of horror fans that have been a little sour on this universe. With a lot of great gore and a notable cast, will this be the turning point in public domain horror? Because this one certainly caught my attention. We gushed about it last week just with the poster, but then actually being able to see that 2-minute trailer, man, this was everything that we were hoping for when we talked about it last week.
I won't do any sound, but I'll just kind of play this in the background for us, so there's at least the visual stimulation there. I don't know how the stream's going to do. It's been a while since we've attempted this, but I've heard YouTube's gotten a little less strict on things. Also, honestly, Adrian capping zombies and ripping them apart in a video game has kind of made it a little bit more, okay, I think we can get away with this. But this trailer in and of themselves. Oh, and also if we get copyright struck, we know the people who made this, so I'll message them right away. Now, but this looks great, guys. Like, this is seriously one of those things where we were talking about this a couple years ago when it was announced, and just kind of right after, I think it was Neverland Nightmares. And this just was like the concept, everything that we had heard from Reese and Scott and what they wanted to do with this, and all of the really, at the time, just coming off of, like, I think it was actually just off of Blood and Honey 2 going into Neverland Nightmares. It was like, are they going to be able to pull this off? This is really ballsy. It's really big ideas. And I got to say, this is a really good trailer. And this is right here. That is what fully sold me. I was pretty convinced from the behind the scenes stuff that we got to see that, like, Pinocchio was in the bag. Even the stuff that, like, Luke hinted towards last week that we've seen in interviews, and when we're just talking to them, they've shown us some stuff. I've always been convinced on that, but the fact that, like, Jiminy Cricket is as good and sounds as good as he does, I am sold. Like, I'm on board.
Mhm.
That was always going to be it looks great. It looks like
It looks so good, so well done. I mean, yeah, I don't know if this is done with AI. It very well could be to like, really nail just how authentic, Pinocchio looks and everything like that. But it's so creepy. It looks so painful. How like you've had a splinter before, and it's like the smallest thing that could happen to you, but it hurts more than you think it would. And that's what I get from like him using like the wood to like slice these people up. The scene we see here, I don't know if we already passed it with him like packing the intestines in himself.
Yeah, like
Oh my
it's gonna go to
gosh.
some dark places, man. Just the whole idea of him having to like make himself a real boy or it's like that is so awesome. Like that is such a great like smattering of ideas that just works. And I think that this is one of those ones where it's like, again, I see Mr. Boone here. I'll put us back on this for now. Mr. Boone saying,
I love it.
Pinocchio looks bad, it's good. Yes, and the one thing here is those puppet practical effects. They are really going for, and I think Luke will probably be able to expand upon this because they've been saying since the beginning they want to go for like a Child's Play 2, like very Chucky, early Chucky kind of performance with this. And I really feel like they're nailing that with this. It does look like those 90s, early or late 80s, early 90s goofy kind of practical puppet effects. It looks how it's supposed to look. A wooden child running around is weird. Like
100%. I got watching that trailer. I got those same vibes that I get when I watch like Child's Play 2, where you're seeing Chucky's face move, and something feels so off, but the way that he's moving is just so captivating. I think they really did nail it here. I know when talking with Reese and Scott, that's what they were going for, and I think you really do see that in this trailer, and I think that's why a lot of people are kind of caught off guard with the quality of it, because you instantly get transported back to something like a Child's Play and what made those films scary. And you're only doing that in 2 minutes. And I think that's why a lot of people are more so jumping on board with this one, because, we talked about Neverland Nightmares. And I think at that point, when we talk about the narrative and the intriguing route that they went in, I don't know if that was enough to get people into the theater to give that one a shot, because it was just like, well, maybe or maybe not. You can't really tell by that trailer of what they're really doing. Same thing with Bambi, where it was like, okay, if you're into CGI or not, then maybe that gets you, maybe it doesn't. But it wasn't necessarily a big enough departure or something that showed enough quality, I don't think, to really get those naysayers to say, I'm going to give this a shot. I think Pinocchio Unstrung did that, where it's like just being able to see that, seeing that gross gore, the, like Adrian said, stuffing the entrails inside of you and being like, I want to be a real boy. Demented concept, him putting the skin over his
I
face.
love
It's
it.
just like really, really disturbing elements into that in just a short little trailer. And the puppet's well done. And it's like, and like Dylan said, Cricket looks great. That was going to be a really big deciding factor. And it all looks quality. So it's like, from what we're seeing from that, I think a lot more people are going to be jumping on board to say, let me give this one a shot. Even if I don't watch the other stuff, I'm going to give Pinocchio Unstrung a shot. And let me go to the theater and check this one out on the big screen.
Dude, I could definitely see a creepy Barney movie. Him just like singing the song like, I love you, you love me. I'll be a happy family just in the background during the trailer. I could also see a really creepy concept for Teletubbies as well. We got to go there. But Teletubbies and Barney, man, are they in the public domain yet? I don't think so.
It'll be a while. It takes a long, long time for you to go to the public domain. But this is like, again, I think it's probably been about, good Lord, are we looking at really, Luke? Are we looking at probably like almost 3 years since I think we were on that call with them when they showed us the poster? Like they ended up posting those pictures, but like they were showing us the effects workshop with Pinocchio. That's like about 3 years ago. Like,
yeah, that was, man, it was that long ago, wasn't it? Now that I think about it.
This one has been such a long time coming. And I'm with you where it's like, I could understand people maybe not. I think really what happened with Neverland Nightmares was word of mouth really picked up for that one. That one I think got reviewed much better than people were expecting.
Yeah.
And then in my opinion, I've been saying it since I saw it. I think that Bambi was misplaced in the lineup. If it was my opinion, I would have had Bambi come out right after Blood and Honey 2. and then had this, because I think just like the quality of that story, because it's a very different kind of movie. It's that very creature feature kind of stuff. You know, it's not like trying to be as gutsy as something like a Neverland Nightmares is, where it's trying to really dive into the deeper psychology of a character, as to where this is clearly going to be doing that as well. We're going to be really diving into our poor boy Pinocchio and his his issues. He's got a lot of problems, all right? And
he's got a lot of mental texture to him, is what I'm going to say.
He's got a lot of identity and body issues that he's working through. So the idea that he's made of wood just does not sit right with him.
He's got a can-do attitude. I'll say that about him. But yeah, even if Bambi was put, like, in terms of jump in quality, even if it was put after the original Blood and Honey, because that would have been such a huge jump in terms of what we had gotten with the original Blood and Honey, and to be like, man, Bambi would have been a really good placement to kind of get more people on board. But it's like, yeah, like you're saying, where it was placed, I don't think was enough to intrigue fans that were, well, horror fans that were not fans of public domain, because it's always been a talking point. We were pretty negative on it, I think, when we had first gotten into it, and then kind of some stuff like that, and kind of became more open to it, especially now that we sit here after a few different releases in the Twisted Childhood universe. It's like, well, man, they really do have a direction. It's like, you know, we've been talking about it even since after that first interview with them, and knowing how they were kind of hamstring in what their plan was for Blood and Honey 2, even though we hadn't seen it. You know, they hadn't filmed anything. They just had some big ideas, and now we've been able to actually see them achieve these things. And I think Pinocchio is going to be such a big culmination, especially getting people on board for when we see this big team up film. I think is going to be really interesting, because I think because of Pinocchio's release, you're probably going to have a bigger turnout in the theater for this kind of big public domain team up film, which is probably going to feel like a pretty big event, I think, in the horror space.
Yeah, and like Brandon's here brought up, he says it's Robert Englund is also Cricket. I mean, like, it was never the casting that was the issue for me. I liked the casting, but it was always going to be like, man, are they really going to be able to pull off an animated character with a voice actor that deep? You know, like, we've seen them overdub with things like in Blood and Honey 2, some of the characters, but it's just a completely different animal to like animate and have that in there. But like, I now realize, I think I was talking to Jake and Evan this week when I brought up this, so I don't even know if I've said this to you yet, Luke, but it's like that Cricket looks like he's straight out of like a Del Toro movie, with like the same kind of like almost clay wooden approach to him. Like, he just looks like he's got that kind of twisted, again, childhood universe, which is what they're going for, but in that Guillermo del Toro inspired way. Do you see? You feel me?
Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. I think especially just those scenes between Pinocchio and Cricket, I think I get shades of that. Maybe, you know, not necessarily throughout the whole film, because it does feel like child's play, but like in those in those scenes, it's kind of got that warm aesthetic that we feel in like Guillermo del Toro's films. And I think maybe that's what they were going for, especially when we get into the folklore aspect of it, because it certainly does have that tinge to it, where it's like we're seeing these two characters talk, and they kind of have a devious idea in terms of what the human beings are not going to know. And I love that, because it does have that mythical feel to it. And I lock into those vibes, I think, where it's like, this could be a lot of fun, and it really does go across the board. It feels like it's taking advantage of a lot of different elements in horror. It's not really just putting itself in one box, because we have the funness of what feels like a child's play, but then we have that mythical folklore that it could be a lot of fun as well. And then we have that fun gore. It goes from fun gore to really disturbing gore, you know? So it's like across the board. I think this one is going to check a lot of boxes for a lot of different horror fans.
Yeah, it's going to be something I hope that really brings back some of that big push that we saw with Blood and Honey 2, where that one had enough of a push, and then enough people were saying nice things about it that like it did really perform at the box office. I think this one has that ability to do so. I think this trailer is cut perfectly, like Brandon brought up here, with Robert Englund being in the cast. I mean, Richard Brake being there, a couple other things, and again, just the zany wackiness of even like what Mr. Boone said there. Like, it is so bad, it's good. I gotta see it. It is that off-settling, weird nature of a little wooden puppet boy murdering people, and he's putting guts in his body. Like, it's just deranged off the wall bullshit, and I cannot wait for it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be catching that one in theaters for sure. For sure.
Yep, and this was something I was going to bring up as well. So thank you, Necro. Because there was a little bit of other news that we I think we dropped didn't we drop a story one of these weeks earlier where it was just like there was another little piece or some piece of cat. Oh no, it was the look of poo.
Yeah, and Tigger. Yeah, we covered that I think last week with Pinocchio, so we kind of just combined everything. But yeah, we've been getting trickling information because Roger Jackson, I believe, is going to be voicing Rabbit, and it's like that's going to be really intriguing. Again, them from where we started with Blood and Honey and where we're going to go with Pinocchio, Unstrung, and what we're going to see later down the line. When you hear about creative saying, "I want to provide this for the audience, and I have these big plans," and sometimes they're sincere, sometimes they're not. It's like you can look at the Twisted Childhood universe and totally understand Scott and Reese were absolutely sincere in their goals and what they wanted to achieve here, because we're actually seeing that stuff pop up on screen where it does feel like what a jump in quality we had from that very first film. Now we're talking about Richard Brake, Robert Englund, Roger Jackson. It's like they are really creating a lineup of great horror icons to be in these films, because they know horror fans are going to want to see these. And hell, how many times have we watched films that just have Danielle Harris in it or Kane Hodder just because that's who's in the films? And it's like being able to put them in these films with a lot of fun concepts and really pushing the boundaries of public domain horror. They totally have an understanding of what the elements of public domain horror need to have in order for it to not feel like a cash grab, and really kind of just showcase what they can do. So then they're not stuck in this bubble of public domain horror, and they can go ahead and move on to making other more original horror films, or, even if they want to jump genres. I think being able to see this type of stuff really just kind of showcase their talents.
Absolutely. And yeah, Erica, to your question earlier, next Saturday I could pop in for a little bit for Bone Temple and watch a little bit of that. And then as well as yes, I do want to get another watch party going. I know I feel like we say it every Sunday now, but like I think we do have to sit here and actually plan it out now that we got Adrian running the stream. I know one thing we're doing this week that was slated for, we're planning for it. We haven't fully got it worked out, but I will bring it up, is the John Carpenter game, Toxic Commandos. I almost said Crusaders. Toxic Commandos was coming out this week, and we're working hopefully with Saber Interactive. We filled out some information this week to hopefully get some access keys to it. So what my plan is to try to get a little group together of, I know right now it's Jake, Adrian, myself. I was going to throw it to Luke if he wanted to join in, because it's a 4-player co-op campaign. So I thought, hey, it'd be great if we all, joined in and had some fun there, whether it was, I think they said we might get it as early as Thursday.
Oh shit. Okay,
if we get the access key, which I believe is technically the release day, but that is something we're planning for. And that would take up the Friday slot for Adrian's stream day as usual. Which he'll also be streaming Resident Evil again on Monday. But all of this has still kind of been up in the air. So, because I'm still waiting to hear back from Saber, but Jake, I did give him the application as well. So hopefully we can get a good group together. It's not like a super long game from what I understand. So it's like we could get through the campaign in like a couple hours or like a couple of sessions. So I'm totally down and excited. So,
well, since this is a John Carpenter game, I will at least commit to wearing either a They Live or a Michael Myers mask for at least some of the stream. So depending on how my oxygen levels allow. So
dude, the game looks so good. Just tons of blood splashing all over the place. It just looks like the ultimate fantasy, like just mow down a shitload of zombies type experience you could wish for. Kind of like that World War Z vibe where it's just zombies piling up. You just got this heavy machine gun just mowing them down like grass, man. Yeah, I'm stoked.
It looks like it's a here. It kind of looks like a Left 4 Dead style, like thing. Yeah. Like Adrian said, the mechanics that they're highlighting, at least in the little trailer video they did to like hype it up, they were saying that like the zombies are like exactly like he just expressed, just all over each other. And in the footage, it does look pretty intimidating. I hope it lives up. So because I've heard that before, but I'm excited to see it. I think if this is cool, it would be nice because it's like this is like kind of the first like property thing other than music that John Carpenter has put out in a while, other than that show, I guess, that he directed from
a couple years ago. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How would you do a Thing cosplay? I guess I would just dress up as the Husky.
I would actually do that prequel where it's just me with a pixelated front. It's like
just a pixelated hanging sack of meat. Yeah. There you go. Honestly, if I did one, if I wanted to do like a unique one, somebody had come up with one. I think this was actually this might have been one of our early streams. Someone gave me this idea, but it was to do the cover of the Thing poster.
Oh yeah.
Just do like get like some kind of like a reflective light mask that you could put on, because like they sell those dome masks. If you want to look like Cobra Commander or whatever, it's like get one that has like a reflective light and then put some lights in there and it would just like flash out. And I'm like, that'd be really cool. So, dude, Rob's doing one right now.
That's what I was going to say. I would just go as myself, but I just have this fucked up look the whole time. Just couldn't read me. Pretend to be me. Just a parody of myself.
Oh, I like it.
They're still working on Hatchet 5, but director says there's a lot of drama to get it made. Yeah, that's what we've heard. I heard some good things. I know Umbrella also just acquired all the Hatchet films recently. Was it Umbrella or was it
no.
Umbrella taking over?
Who was it?
Oh my gosh.
I know it was one of the companies. Or
was it the one that released the stuff that we have the
just recently.
Okay, then I don't know. I haven't heard about this. I'm speaking out of turn.
Bad, Luke.
Tell me, Dylan. Enlighten me.
Bad.
I'm working on it. Hatchet rights.
No, yeah, I would love to see a continuation of the Hatchet franchise, just because I always talk about the original Hatchet being such a turning point in horror for me. It was finding a pro wrestling forum, oddly enough, and they had a horror section on there, and there were a handful of films that I had never heard of that I went and had started, I had ordered, and it was The Burning, Sleepaway Camp, and Hatchet were the three. And it was like, after watching those three, and especially I watched Hatchet right before Hatchet 2 was going to come out, and I pre-ordered the DVD and had just waited for that film to show up on my doorstep. And I remember after watching those films, I kind of just did a deeper dive into the underbelly of horror and really started uncovering titles that weren't just, things I grew up with, like Friday the 13th or Halloween. So Hatchet is such a special franchise for me. I love 1 and 2. I think they're just absolutely fantastic. I would love to see a continuation. We've talked to Adam Green, and he seems just like such in tune with horror, such a nice, down to earth kind of guy. And I'd love to see him get that made and kind of go back to watching. Yeah, because we have a release from Dark Sky, and it's like watching the documentary on there and just seeing how everyone absolutely enjoys what they're doing, and the camaraderie there is fantastic.
The first 3 have great documentaries. I can't speak for Victor Crowley. I haven't looked at the special features on there, but when we were going through those first 3 films have great little featurettes. Like that was back when special features were the shit.
Yeah.
Ugh. But I did look into that. It looks like Umbrella has acquired the rights to do a box set for all films. So originally they had announced that they were only going to do 1 and 2, but after Electric Response, they went back to find the other 2 in the franchise. After some negotiation, they were able to get those 2. So they are going to be doing their own big box sets, as well as they said possibly individual releases for each, for those of us who maybe don't want to get like the full thing. But that'll be cool. Again, they even say in here, there's nothing wrong with the recent release of the Dark Sky Steelbook. Nothing wrong with the collection, but with all due respect, Umbrella tends to go above and beyond with these releases. We're talking tons of bonus features, new cover art, lots of good extra goodies for serious collectors. Theirs will be one of the best in the business. And as somebody who owns a few Umbrella collections myself, I cannot deny this will probably be one that will have to be upgraded, unfortunately. But hey, you know what? This is the world we live in.
Well, yeah, horror fans are eating good, and it's like with these boutique labels like that, Umbrella always does produce. They do go the extra mile in terms of just presentation and the actual features that we do get, and that's what you're always looking for as a big horror fan. It's like you always want to get the behind the scenes looks and things like that. So I'm excited to see what that box art's going to be because I know it's going to be beautiful. And being such a big Hatchet fan, I mean, there's no way I'm not going to get it. You know, I think we got the Dark Sky release, that steelbook, which is fantastic. It's got a lot of great stuff there, and I think we that's how we ended up getting an interview with Adam Green and just being able to sit down with him. There are not many people we sit down with, and we kind of have to be like, oh man, unfortunately at the time we were kind of hamstringed by our day job, so it's like I think we had only a certain window. Dylan was on his lunch, I was on my lunch, and we had a certain time, but he was so talkative, so gracious with his
extremely
time.
chill. Yeah, somebody I would love to go back, because I wasn't even going to bring it up, but since you did, I'll chime in real quick. It wasn't just my lunch break that I was on, but my phone, because I was hosting StreamYard in my car. It was the middle of the summer and like 80, 90 degree weather. And it's just like, dude, my phone was just like overheating halfway through our interview. My phone just shuts off and I just left. So Luke is just there with Adam Green by himself, just having to play it off like nothing happened. And I'm just struggling to get my phone to come back to life and come back into this extremely huge interview with a director I've admired since I was like a teenager, basically a preteen, when I saw Hatchet. It's like, dude, like, come on, man, what is this? Seriously, but he was a good sport about it. He had a lot of fun.
I know that was so funny. He kind of just went dark for a second. It was just me and him in there. But I mean, he continued. I think, he was still continuing with his stories and stuff. And it was like, man, that interview went for way longer than we thought it was going to, just because he had so many different stories. And I know he expressed his love for continuing the Hatchet franchise. So I'm glad that we're hopefully going to be seeing something down the line with that, if they get everything, all the ducks in a row for it. Because it's like, I know there's more story to tell. I love Victor Crowley. It was my first character that was looked at as, I guess, one of the smaller in terms of horror, and being able to kind of uncover that gem that not many people had seen. No one in my circles at the time had seen that film. So I was really the only one that knew of Hatchet, other than going on the internet at the time to discuss the film. And it was just like one of those films where I felt I was in the know, a secret password, as I like to say, in terms of horror. And I'd love to see a continuation of that character. And it's such a turning point in horror, because I know we've talked about it, and I know other people have talked about it, kind of drawing that comparison to Terrifier and Art the Clown, and Hatchet and Victor Crowley was kind of one of the first, where it's like, if that had been transported later on, I think a lot of people would have gravitated toward that character, and being able to go see it in the theater and just have a really fun time, because it's got a lot of great gore.
Necro always hitting us with the great photoshops. Yeah, that was one of my favorites. There's a handful in there I have saved. I'll probably have to upload those as well to the Discord. I have like a folder of your photoshops from, especially back with Beyond the Splatter Graves, which I know you're just asking about that. I will say, I did actually have a pretty long talk with Evan the other night about this, and I wanted to obviously speak with Luke here, and then Alex, and I think we're gonna start working on getting some things moving to get that back up and running. We might do a different day, maybe a different time, but like, because we're getting everything else moving, and it's just kind of another piece. And honestly, I know like Evan misses doing it, because like, of all of us, he's probably the most like annexed in his own little world, because at least for us, like we can see Jake, and like Luke and I see each other, Adrian and I see each other. It's like, it's one of those things where it's like, Evan, if he's not like interacting with us, it's like he's got to go out of his way to like reach out to us. It's just like, it sucks, but like, he loved doing the podcast because of that. So he was just telling me about that, and I'm like, man, like, absolutely, like, we got to get that back up and going. So that will be coming. I wanted to give an update since we talked a little bit about it last week, and just so happened to get brought up. So we're working on it.
Bang it.
Wheels are turning.
Mm-hmm. And then I heard some folks talking about this Shout Factory and Scream Factory. I know Dex brought this up. I don't even know what's going on anymore. There was rumors, I know, earlier last year that they were going to be like it shutting down, and then that apparently that wasn't the case, and now I'm hearing stuff like this where it's like, yeah, they're going to switch to doing digital stuff, or they're just going to be doing that. But then they're still releasing, like, because they just announced a bunch of new steel books that are coming to Walmart that are going to be later this year. So it's just one of those things where it's like, I just don't know where they're at with this. I don't know what to believe anymore with these rumors. But and then not to pivot too hard, but I know this is kind of another thing that has me a little concerned is the whole Joe Bob Briggs ending on Shudder. Like, what's up with that? Luke, you got any thoughts on either of those?
It was certainly surprising. But yeah, I don't know, because I think he's expressed that he wants to continue. At least that's what I had heard. I didn't watch, but I thought maybe there was something hinted toward that at one point. So at least that was a discussion that I had seen. So it was very surprising because the Last Drive-In just seems like it's such a tentpole, I think, with Shudder. So it was really surprising. I know they had a kind of difference in terms of the release schedule. Weren't they doing like once a month rather than a big run consecutively week by week, just because I think people were canceling their subscription or something like that is what I thought I had heard. But it's such a tentpole for a lot of horror fans to go. And I remember being on Twitter when Last Drive-In was on and just continuously that discussion going on and films being uncovered for people for the first time. And it's like very surprising, unexpected, because I know he kind of put out a little hint towards something a couple days before that. And I know people were talking about it. I didn't put too much stock into it. I was like, I don't think it's going to be that. And then I was really surprised to hear that that was going to be it. But I'm hoping there's some sort of continuation there. I love that communal experience of having a host and showing a film and kind of just being able to see people's reactions and just chat about the film, things like that.
In between,
it's such a fun experience. I think we need more of that, not less. That's why I was really surprised, because we don't get much of that kind of content anywhere.
I think the thing about that too is, it's such I'm sure there's some budgetary stuff, but it's like, I think in this day and age, that is something that he could easily get a couple of people to help him basically produce a smaller version of that show for like YouTube or something, where it's like he could stream that, he could do that. It's like I could easily see he has a big enough fan base that like they could crowdfund that and get that going and stuff. And I think like enough people in the community themselves, like if they really wanted to go that route, like if we had the extra cash to throw at it, I'd throw a little bit towards it just because of what a staple Joe Bob Briggs is just in horror in general. Cause like I never watched any of the stuff live, but when we had our Shudder subscription there for a couple of years, I remember throwing on a few of the it was that and the Mystery Science Theaters. I would watch some of those where it's just interesting. It's like watching old television, like back in the early 2000s and the late 90s, where it's like, you just have them cutting in a little talking segment and then you get back to it. It's like, it's weird. It's interesting. I love it.
Yeah, I think that could be an interesting route to go down, especially with opening up a YouTube channel or something like that, and just being kind of streamlining it a little more. I guess being right there with the fans and being in that discussion and just being able to watch it evolve as you go, because I know there's an appetite for it. I know everyone is so negative, on them. I guess canceling, I guess you'd say, the Last Drive-In, and it's just like, man, what a staple it is, and people want to see more of it, not less. And I think that would be an interesting avenue to go down, because a lot of people just want to watch that type of content. And I think we could do something like that. I think a lot of people would chip in depending on how they wanted to do it, whether it was going to be like a 12-week run, or they could, I guess, even do it more frequently. I think going the YouTube route or somewhere like that, which is way more streamlined, would be the way to go, because I know a lot of people are pretty outraged by it.
Yeah, I think Joe Bob liked bad movies sometimes, like Hell High movies on Barely a Slasher Hard Any Kills. Yeah, I think he could definitely do something where it's like he's doing, whether it's a podcast or something, where it's like he can still introduce, because like I don't think it's that hard. Like even if we were to do something like that, like just spitballing and give any guys an idea of where my head would be at to produce like a low rent version of this, would basically be I would have to find, whether it be through Patreon, be through something, that we could watch movies and bring an audience into and not have to worry about basically being struck down.
Yeah.
Then it's like we're good. Like the Discord would be one way. But like for the most part, yeah, if you did that or found a way to do that or created some service or some way of doing it or partnered with them, that would be the best way, in my opinion, because then it's like, yeah, you could literally have those cut-ins and still have them people. You could even do more stuff. Like you could literally have commentaries if you wanted to, and it wouldn't take away from the experience. I just feel like because that format has worked for him for so long, it's like I just wonder if it's like he doesn't know how to take advantage of what he's got in front of him with the audience. Because again, that's just a very rudimentary version of like what I'm saying, but like, you know, I'm sure they could figure out something that would work better for people.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the beautiful thing about the horror community, and I mean, we've experienced this, is you put out content, they're going to find you. Joe Bob Briggs already has a great following. So it's like whatever the medium he wants to go down, horror fans are going to find him because they want that communal experience. He was kind of, I think, filling the gap that we don't really get too much of. And I don't know if I can't think of anything off the top of my head that, you know, feels like a Last Drive-In in any sense that is more modern at all. So it's like, if he finds an avenue, I think there's an appetite for it. Fans are going to find it. They want to join in. They want to be part of it. So it's like there's certainly an avenue to go down here, whether it be, you know, a Discord or something like that, because people will show up. We know it. We see it on our channel. And I mean, he's got an even bigger platform. So that would be really interesting. I think there'd be a handful of people willing to help, you know, set that up for him because, hey, we all just want to be part of it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And like, yeah, I actually like what Penelope brought up here, Tubi, and they've been real hungry. They've been acquiring content left and right. I would totally see them being like, we have the library for it. Like, bring it on. Like, if you can have Joe Bob Briggs, like, what a draw that would be for them if they could figure out a way to do like a stream of some kind there.
Certainly. I mean, we always talk about Tubi always coming through with horror. It's like they know their market. They know how lucrative the horror space is. So to have some sort of original content, because I know they do have a handful of original things going on Tubi right now, that to have something like that would be really interesting. And again, would just make people want to go over that way and say, hey, man, Tubi has everything we need.
Absolutely. Yep. And I was just on Tubi the other day. We were watching, my son loves Scooby-Doo as one of his things, Sonic, Scooby-Doo, all that right now. And he's gone through most of the old like Scooby-Doo, and I think it was where Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? And now we're into What's New Scooby-Doo. And so he's been going through that. It's been a blast. So
Tubi's always my go-to. It's like we have a couple different subscription services we pay for, and I always end up on Tubi in some fashion more often than not in terms of looking through their catalog and see what they have. And it's like anytime we're doing this list and I'm trying to find films, I'm like, oh, it's on Tubi. It's on Tubi. It's always seeing that purple and yellow logo pop up, and you just click on it. It's like perfect.
And I hear you, Dex. I get it. I'm just going to say in my mind, like where my brain kind of evens out for it, even if it doesn't necessarily monetarily, but this is the best I have, is I watch things like Tubi because, you know, they are a free streaming service and all you got to do is make an account for ad free or limited ads. Or no, isn't it just so you can resume stuff?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. But either way, it's like, it's such a committal thing that's like so rare these days, and to have the catalog that they have for horror fans is like there's a lot of really B-rate low tier stuff that would otherwise just be lost to time and would just be like in Goodwills basically, or not have a place at all. There's a lot of like small creators who actually are able to put their stuff on there. So I do see some support. I do support Tubi, but I think the best way you can do it is just when somebody like Umbrella puts out a collection like Hatchet and they make a big deal about putting it out there in a big fucking box set, buy that shit. Even if I have the steelbook, I'm going to buy it again because it's like, you know what? I want to support that. I want to do it, support physical media, but like I can't cut Tubi off for doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like I love Tubi, you know?
Well, and I think there are some releases on there that may only have like a VHS release.
Low Lifes
you know?
is another, that's an original that they put out themselves. And that was a great movie.
And that's where it's like, I can go through my Blu-ray shelf probably right now and pull out 5 titles that I had no concept of, had never watched at all until I watched them on Tubi and then went out and bought the physical media of it because I was like, I need to own that. And I think that's where, you know, Tubi excels because it really is a deep dive in terms of horror and what we're able to uncover with a lot of gems that have been lost to time. And I love that accessibility to it. And like Dylan said, we've had low lives, things like that, where they're kind of putting money back into some of these properties to be like, oh man, we're trying. Tubi does a lot of trash films, I think, but some of the horror ones seem to
Yeah.
really be intriguing. So it's like they're kind of
There's good, like a
putting
lot
money
of
back into it.
those like Abominable is on Tubi and stuff, like a
Yeah.
lot of those like late 90s, early 2000s creature features that were kind of just like bought up by sci-fi and lost to time that are actually good are on Tubi. And it's like, yeah, it's like they would be on Shudder and other places too. So I hear you, and I get, like, he's just saying, I'm a collector. 6,000 Blu-rays, DVDs, 4Ks, 4,000 CDs, love physical media, 100%, brother. And we were right there with you. I mean, for God's sakes, I totally forgot to, give me 1 second here. I'll put these two fellas on the screen for just a sec.
Oh, I don't know what happened there. Dylan just abandoned ship. Apparently, I'm not sure what exactly he was doing. Maybe he's gonna go pick something up off his shelf. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Adrian, do you watch Tubi? Are you a Tubi fan? Oh wait, I can't hear you. You're on mute, my friend.
That's embarrassing. I was like burping earlier. I was like, man, the audience don't want to hear this.
Listen,
but
we always want to hear your digestive tracks, so come on.
I hear it enough. But yeah, man, Tubi, I had to go on there to watch some of the VHS movies, and I was astonished by the insane catalog on there of all the things I could watch. I kind of forget it's on there though, I feel like I'm more incentivized to watch what I'm paying for. But yeah, man. Can't go wrong with Tubi, dude. Can't.
Not at all. No, I love Tubi. It's a great resource to have, especially because, like, especially if I'm on like a road trip or something, or like if I'm at like a hotel and I can just flip it up on my phone and it just browse it. It's great. Like, I love it. But physical media, this has nothing to do with movies, cassettes, or anything, but it is physical. And Luke got it for me for my birthday this year, and I haven't shown it off yet. I totally forgot
so
to. But
dope. Novelization.
It's the, novelization, Terrifier 3. I was totally stunned. I love it. It's beautiful. I'm gonna actually read through it, and because I mean, really, what was it? Halloween Ends is where we kind of like. I mean, we've always had a thing for novelizations, but like as of recently, like that was one of those ones that really got us back in the swing of things, of like really getting into those, because like I love to hear the little expanse that they bring to some of these. It's like Halloween Ends is a totally different story. It's actually pretty good in the book. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I love the differentiation we get with some of the storytelling. Where we have the film, but when you're being able to read the novelization, it's like you have so many different pages, so many different chapters, so you get to cover an extra amount of content. Like you said, Halloween Ends is a really different story in terms of where we get to go with some characters, and some characters that don't even exist in the actual film itself. And you always hear about that, especially dating back to some of the original novelizations of some of the slasher films that we know. And it's like I love novelizations. I think I have like the Aliens and Alien 3 novelizations as well, and The Keep is another one I own. And I just love being able to sit down with an actual book in your hand. It's like the Terrifier 3 novelization was the cover got me. It's things so fucking beautiful.
So beautiful.
Like, I love the aesthetic there. I knew we both had to own that one once it came out, because it was like, come on, us being huge Terrifier fans and it being hardcover. I'm a sucker for a hardcover.
Hardcover. It looks like an old EC Comics cover with Art the Clown, Christmassy. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, it is still gospel. It is still biblical, in my opinion, that like Luke and I saw two, became huge fans of Terrifier, and the next movie is a fucking Christmas movie. Like, Luke is probably the biggest holiday horror person I know, like even bigger than me. And I would say like that's the fact they went that way. It's beautiful. So I agree. And again, I also, just like you guys, I own all the Terrifier movies and multiple versions. I own them on VHS, and I bought a fucking VHS player to watch them. So I'm pretty committed to it, all in all. But I do hear you. There's some good and some bad, but physical media is important. Definitely need to stress it. Definitely need to bring it there. And one of the reasons physical media will always be important is because certain movies need to be preserved. And one of those movies I didn't know this, and neither did Luke. We did not know that we just recently got the very first, I guess, was this the US pressing or widely released version of Wolf Creek a couple years ago?
Yeah, I think it was the first released in the US, I believe, North America.
And I only bring that up because I'm a big Wolf Creek fan. Luke's a big Wolf Creek fan. And we got some news about some future installments in the Wolf Creek franchise, or should I say at least one. And we're going to talk about it because hell yeah, I'm excited to get back in the world of Mick Taylor.
Likewise, Dylan. Well, let's hop into the story. Well, horror fans, slip a shrimp on the Barbie and put a head on a stick because we finally got our first look at Wolf Creek Legacy. The highly anticipated third installment sees the return of our favorite Australian psychopath, Mick Taylor, as he becomes entangled with an American family on their dream vacation to the Australian outback. When the couple's two children escape, Taylor dishes out more pain and punishment. With McLean taking a step back and executive producing, he did remark, "I can't wait for audiences to experience the next chapter of this franchise. Bigger, darker, and more relentless than ever." So, man, we were already sold on this. Things were getting a little dicey because we weren't hearing too much for Wolf Creek Legacy, but now they bounced back and gave us a little taste of what we might be getting in Wolf Creek Legacy. Dylan, I know you're fully torqued for this one. Am I right, my friend?
I am completely torqued. I'm beyond torqued. This is a franchise that, like, I am admittedly, as usual, I say it all the time in my videos, a late adopter. I just can't help it. Like, you know, I do YouTube now for a living because of all you wonderful, crazy people watching these videos, and I love you for it. And now I get to catch up on things that I otherwise had to put off. So Wolf Creek being one of those over the last few years, where I had seen the first one ages ago. It was a movie that terrified me from the trailer when I was a kid, and I would see that it just seemed so extreme. And I love Australian horror. It's become a huge thing. So coming back to this just a couple of years ago, really fell in love with it, and then absolutely fell in love with the sequel and just how zany, off the wall fun it is. And hey, the series itself, that is also, funny enough, on Tubi, you could check it out there. It's also great. The Wolf Creek franchise, in my opinion, is one of those rare horror franchises that not a bad installment in the bunch. I love Mick Taylor as a character. He is disgusting, awful, the worst kind of human, and I can't get enough of watching his crazed antics across the outback.
I 100% agree. I think Wolf Creek was, I remember renting the original Wolf Creek and not really knowing what it was about and the grittiness and how disgusting I felt after watching it. And then, you know, seeing the sequel where it's bigger, you know, it's got a lot more action to it. Mick Taylor has a lot of great one-liners. I covered the cold open in one of my I think it was the first cold open. And it was just like, man, what a great way to kick off a film. What a great understanding of the character. And I know there's a lot of talk about Australian horror in general going off in the chat right now. And it's like, yeah, Wolf Creek is a great indication of how great Australian horror can be, because there are so many great different Australian horror films. I know Killing Ground was mentioned, Hounds of Love. I mean, across the board, they just have a great understanding of the psychology. And I think, you know, the Mick Taylor character really dials into what makes psychologically characters disturbing, but then we also get to see that, I guess, gratifying gore that we were expecting with Wolf Creek, especially in that sequel. Man, they really go to some really, really dark places. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do with Wolf Creek Legacy. I haven't seen the TV series yet. I'm going to have to check that box before this one does come out, though.
It's worth checking out for sure. I enjoyed season 1 quite a bit. Season 2 is pretty good as well, although I think season 1's clearly the front runner there. I do enjoy both, and I think they're fun. They're good little entries in there because, again, they're kind of I don't want to spoil it because it's kind of interesting where they take place in the timeline. So I will leave that for you to discover. But again, I don't think there's a bad installment here. Some people say the series, especially season 2, doesn't live up to it for them. I don't really know why. I think maybe because season 2 is a bit more contained, I think, than season 1 was. Season 1 is very different than anything we've seen them do with Mick Taylor. And I can understand why people would be slightly disappointed, because it's a lot more with that character and with that world than we've ever seen before, as to where season 2 is a bit more what we would see out of a movie. So
I'm certainly intrigued. I think, the more Mick Taylor, the better. So, I'm definitely going to sit down and watch that. Was it always meant to be, you said 2 seasons? Or you don't know? I didn't know
there
if
was,
it's
I
discussed.
believe, supposed to be, it was going to be like 3 seasons,
Okay.
4, but it did get canceled, and then it's kind of gotten a second life, basically, like with Tubi and all these other streaming services over the years picking it up. And then, yeah, it's really, I think, just been a lot of, not to tap ourselves on the back or anything here, but I think a lot of the horror community, the online community here, a lot of us just sitting here talking about it in the chats and stuff like that. Like, I know we watched a movie and those guys did a bunch of videos on it a couple summers ago. We've done videos on it with our lists. And it's like, I think like the horror community itself has really been keeping the love for Wolf Creek alive, I think. And it's great to see it paying off with this. And I think if we all can rally around this, if it's a good movie, we all get out to the theater and support it. Like, we could definitely get a couple more before John Jarrett gets a little too old. Cause I have to admit, even seeing him in that still, I love him. But again, it's a lot like seeing, just like a lot of our heroes recently, especially in like, Final Destination Bloodlines, like, the age it shows, and we know our heroes aren't invincible. So
Yeah.
I'm just want to see him, get to play that crazy character a handful more times.
Absolutely. I'm 100% on board with that. I think, I noticed the age as well when we saw that still, but like, it also adds to the eeriness, I thought, as well, because it's like, man, this guy's still at it. Age is not is not deterring him in any fashion. So it's like, looking at this, Wolf Creek excels because I think it's like uncomfortably realistic at times with the situations we're put in, but then also with that off the wall gore, but then also some of the in-depth action sequences, I think, really puts a fun stamp on Wolf Creek in general. I think that's why a lot of people are either still have love for it even after that first initial release, or still just uncovering it now. It's like it really does offer a lot of different things in terms of what we want in a franchise. In both those installments excel at what they want to do, because I think the sequel has a bit of a different vibe than the first film, but they both work. And it's like, I don't think just because we kind of change a little bit going into that sequel that it hurts the franchise at all. It's just like kind of like, which one do I feel like watching today? Is it Wolf Creek or is it Wolf Creek 2?
It's a very different vibe. I'm excited for you to experience these films too, Adrian, because they're I think one of the comparisons I put on them is they're very Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
If you watch both Wolf Creek and Wolf Creek 2, it's like they're similar, but you could almost see Wolf Creek 2 as a soft reboot in a sense, where it's like, we're not necessarily saying like we're taking any direct pulls from the first film other than, a couple of callbacks visually. But like, other than that, it's like, it's just the dude on the trail doing his thing. And it's like, I love it. Cause it's like, that's kind of the fun of it, where the second one, they were like, let's lean into the slasher a little bit more. Let's let him really own the Outback and really show what a monster he is, and not just this real, like the thing with the first film is it's such a real kind of off-putting, dark, slow burn like slasher that's uncomfortable, and he's really gross and evil, and he takes his time. Like, there's literally, Adrian, I kid you not, like what is like 20-30 minutes them just sitting there talking, and not 30 minutes by a fire, but like 15 minutes they're talking by a fire, and it's just them and the killer, and it's just like, what's gonna happen. They don't, and it's awful.
Sounds fucking amazing. I need to get up
what
on my
makes the character
movies.
great. Yeah, it's really great. But yeah,
Good.
I will love this franchise, even if this entry is subpar, which I hope it's not. I still already love the first 2 in the series so much that like I'm happy that we're getting more, and I hope it lives up.
It's a bonus round, as we like to say. It's like, I didn't think we were ever going to get a third installment in the Wolf Creek franchise, but hey, I'm here for it. I'm excited to see what John Jarrett is going to do with Mick Taylor this time around. I like this concept of it, being a family, and then we're saying the kids are getting away. So especially depending on the age of the kids, we can get into some really disturbing kind of nature here with this cat and mouse game. So I think looking at the vibes for 1 and 2 and how different they are, I think in terms of a third installment, they want to give us something that distinguish a third installment rather than just giving us the same old that we've seen either from the first one or second one. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do with this third installment, how they're going to distinguish it from those first two, because I think we wouldn't be getting the story if there wasn't more story to tell.
Yeah.
Damn, Dex, that has happened to me before with a couple of movies where it's like I've seen them and been like not a fan and then just kept coming back to it. It Follows is one. Adrian was there for that first viewing. We walked out of that theater just
did his job though.
We were so wildly uncomfortable. We just felt like everything was weird, and it's like it was one of those things where it did its job so well we didn't even like give it its own credit. We were just like, man, today is fucked up. Let's get out of here. Like that's how it felt. Like
just so off-putting, man.
Kept coming back to it again and again, and I find it's one of those movies I love. Like I love talking about it. I love watching it. It's like, ugh.
Yeah. I remember we were driving through just general traffic, and I was looking at everybody, and I'm like, it's almost like it was a simulation, man. I was looking at everybody like it could be what's following me. You know, I'm just messing around, but yeah, it kind of gave me that off-putted feeling for sure. I mean, I don't know, dude. It was weird, dude. The sensation was, I can't even describe it. It was like I went through a portal into another like uncanny version of reality.
A dead ass, dude. I think we even said that at one point. It just felt like like, I don't know, Luke, have you ever had that feeling where like you see something or you watch, it's just like it puts you in such a weird mood that like you feel like you step out and like everything just feels weird. Everything just feels off. It's like your whole day just kind of gets ruined in a sense where you're just like, I just, nothing feels right. Nothing. Your day felt like it was going, and it almost feels like you hit a wall, and you're just like, damn it, like I can't move past it.
Well, yeah, Dylan. A couple months ago, I watched Kids and Mysterious Skin the same day.
That's right. Yes,
my day was totally
why'd
off.
You do that?
My week was done. I had to go lay down.
Damn. Yeah, that's a tough. I didn't. I get it. Same list. Understand it was homework, but like I didn't say same day. All right, like it's like you got to read the bottle before you take the pills, my man.
Hey man, you should give me a warning on those.
The internet game. I made a video talking about kids and how fucked up. Yeah. It's I mean, at the end of the day, even though Mysterious Skin is fucked, Mysterious Skin is hell of a movie, man. Fucking really, really fucking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mysterious. I mean, they are both like they do their job.
Rob's he gets it.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
That was a day.
Oh yes. Yeah. We were supposed to talk to him about that, I think, at one point.
We've had interactions with Adam Marcus every so often. He responds to an email that we sent a while ago, and we were supposed to, and maybe we'll reach back out because I would love to talk to him about that as well as just Jason Goes to Hell in general.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll reach back out because we've been wanting to talk to him for ages here. And I mean a couple of years, and he'll respond every so often and then goes back to doing his thing, and then we don't hear from him again for a minute. So maybe we'll reach back out to him. I was actually thinking about that a couple weeks ago because I follow the Jason Goes to Hell fan page, and I saw those documentaries finally coming in.
Yeah, that's another one that you turned me on a little bit. That was a hard one. I took a hard line stance on Jason Goes to Hell. Pretty
big
tough.
phrasing.
I mean, it was just one of those ones where it upset me so much when I saw it when I was young. And I think it was because, and I really like reflecting on it. And I think in our video, or was it a podcast, one of the things where we both ended up talking about it after your essay, I think it was just one of those things where I had said that movie to me was like, it was just because it was available. I wanted to watch Friday the 13th, but at the time streaming was so new. I didn't have access to it like at home or anything. And it was just one of the ones that was on I think it was Netflix, or it was even just a copy that was like uploaded in segments on YouTube. So it's like one of those things where I was watching it like that and I hated it. And I will always have that impression. So going back to it, it wasn't until the box set came out really that my interest peaked on it. And then Luke started talking it up again. And then like I started like kind of following into it. And then now I actually really appreciate it because it's like it's very different, especially once you know the story behind it, which is why this documentary is exciting. Is exciting because once you learn how this thing came together, I mean, that's a movie in and of itself, dude. Like it's wild.
Absolutely. And that's what it's like. I remember disliking that film so heavily as a kid, but it being one of that and Jason Takes Manhattan always being at the video store because it seems like those were the only ones that were never rented. So those were like my two most watched throughout my childhood, just because they were always there, and not really liking Jason Goes to Hell just because there was never enough Jason. But then getting the box set and watching that again, and still not really liking it, but then starting to come around the more I watched it, and then kind of just doing more of an in-depth or review, kind of just talking about that film and kind of appreciating it for how different it is compared to the rest of the actual franchise itself. And they try to do something different, and not all of it works. Certainly, I'm not saying that it's a perfect film by any means, but just an interesting avenue to go down, not giving us the same thing that we've seen and grew to know with the Friday the 13th franchise. So, I think it's interesting. I think there's some fun to be had. I never take it too seriously. And I think looking at it nowadays, having the box set and being able to watch any installment that I want, I'm never not in a mood to watch Jason Goes to Hell, because that's when I turn on. It's like when I'm in the mood. So I'm always more positive on that film because it's like, let's just watch some cheese right now. And I think that film is just a fun avenue to travel down when you're not taking the franchise too seriously, because then I always go back to my favorites are Final Chapter and Jason Lives. So it's like I can always watch those ones when I want to remember how great the franchise is. But let's have some fun with Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah, it's certainly a series that I'm definitely. It's still my favorite slasher franchise. I would say, like, it's just the one that's always got my heart. But it's a movie that I've come around to, in X too. Like it's one that I think, just being a big Friday the 13th fan, I mean, not great. Like, yeah, It Takes Manhattan too is one where it's like, I understand it's not great. It's not one of the big dogs, but I love elements of it. There's so many moments in Manhattan. Like once he's actually in Manhattan, it's like, it's one of the best Jason movies ever. Like he's knocking people's heads off on top of roofs.
It's what we wanted.
It's like, it's so great. Yeah, man. Yeah, Youngstown, Ohio is mentioned in Jason Goes to Hell. That's so funny. It's just like, it's for all their flaws, you know what I mean? Like I have love for all these movies now, and it's like, it might just be that, but like, yeah. And I was gonna say there is a very memorable kill in Jason Goes to Hell with the tent and railroad spike. Like, good lord, like that rip is like insane, especially because then you got to see the uncut versions and the special features that they released with that box set, and seeing them just like rip through the dummy all the way. It's like, god damn, dude, the effects in there were off the chain.
Yeah, so, I remember being a kid and watching that tent scene, thinking I'm way too young to be watching what's going down prior to what's happening in terms of the gore. But when we got there, I was like, man, this shit's
it's
wild.
Like it's probably the closest. I don't even know if I can say this with full certainty, but it's like it's one of those kills in Friday the 13th that really gets up to like the Terrifier levels of gore, I would say. Just like, you really watch her just rip apart, like the way that it's and I know I'm getting like the movie and the behind the scenes footage like kind of crisscrossed to my brain a little bit here, because now that I've seen the full effect, but it's like, it's a hell of an effect. So it's like, and I gotta give him that. Like, Adam Marcus did not hold back. I mean, say what you will about the movie, it is dog shit to some people. And I have said it's dog shit for a long time, but like I retract that a few years ago, and I'm gonna still stand on business with it. I think it's a solid flick. As a Friday the 13th fan, I need it. And you know what's great? We're finally getting a fucking NECA Ultimates figure for it, boy. Yes. That and Jason Takes Manhattan, which means Uber Jason and Part 10, just the beginning Jason, can also happen eventually too, hopefully. So cross your fingers.
We're getting there. We're going to check every box when it comes to Jason NECAs.
I need them all. I need them all. I have no money for them, but I need them all. It's like dude, like every toy fair, it's like it's not fair. It's not a very fair time at toy fair.
I wonder if people just like how much money you got to save up to just really splurge on those places.
It's not really like that as much for us anymore. I think like Luke and I just like send each other I mostly send him the pictures. We just oogle and ogle at him and have a long 45-minute phone call. And then that's probably about it. Maybe we get 1 or 2 items each out of there nowadays, but
there's just too much.
Yeah. I would say this year with the Terrifier NECA and the Jaws, and there was like 1 or 2 other things I got recently on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre things. Like, that's the most NECA stuff I've bought in a long time. I've got a lot on my wish list still. Like before that, it was the Kessler Wolf, I think, and I was gifted the dog thing as a Christmas gift. So it's like those were my biggest NECA purchases in a long time. So
yeah, and it's like you see all these things, and honestly, I'm at maximum capacity in terms of shelf space right now, and it's like they just keep coming with them. So yeah, it's like I don't know.
There's like stuff I've collected for a long time, like especially like movies and stuff that's just like in boxes, but even just like stuff I've had like collectibles for video games and things I've gotten from when I worked at the exchange that I'm selling them. I'm getting rid of them all because it's like they're not displayed. It's not really it's like I like the stuff, but it's not stuff that I display or do anything with. So it's like I got to get rid of that and hopefully make some more space for some cool horror shit. Because we got to get that big leprechaun. Am I right, guys?
Yeah. Because next week, are we going to do anything with leprechaun?
I mean, I know we should. I think we should do a little. You want to do you guys want to do a watch along for Leprechaun 1 so Adrian can experience it for the first time?
I mean, I'm down.
Okay, and that would be because then that would be Tuesday is the actual holiday, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess that I'm going to leave that up to you guys because Tuesday night would be kind of an open night for me. Would you guys rather do a watch along on Tuesday night and just keep Sunday Scaries regular? Or would you guys rather us do like a watch along as Sunday Scaries, kind of like what we did for Silent Night, Deadly Night, and just go from there? So
I mean, for me, I don't care. I'm good with whatever.
Hey.
Okay.
All I know is I'm watching Leprechaun at some point, guys. So you tell me when and where.
All right. I hear you. Let's do, because like that's what I'm thinking. I know Leprechaun 3 is great, but Adrian's never seen Leprechaun, so that's the thing. We gotta introduce him.
Put on because I could just go catch up on that.
It's like I don't know. It's like, do we want him to do that? I feel like that'd be a fun one to watch with him. I don't know.
The original?
Yeah.
Wait a second. Leprechaun 3 is in Vegas?
Yeah.
We did Leprechaun 3.
I was going to say we can't do Leprechaun 3. Yeah. Like we've done it too recently. So
yeah, we did.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let me get with this tomorrow. I have a really crazy hectic day tomorrow. We need to do his live reaction. All right, Erica settled it. Let's do next Sunday. We're going to do a live watch of Leprechaun. Erica, can you host? Would that be doable? I can get you a copy of the movie if you need it. I have it. So, and if she can do that, then I'll gladly, I'll post that right after this. We can sit down and for Sunday Scaries, we'll watch it. It'd be next Sunday at 9 for the Sunday Scaries slot.
Okay. And then, I mean, I don't know how you guys are vibing. If we end up all being free that Tuesday and Sunday goes well enough, we can have everyone choose what installment we watch on Tuesday. If you guys want to go that route too,
you can see. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I know we're gonna, because Adrian, he does his streams on Monday, so I don't want him to have to do 3 in a row. So I'm gonna see. I don't want to. All right, cool. All right, then it's settled. All right, we're gonna do Leprechaun 1 classic watch for Adrian here. I'll extend the invite to a couple of the homies. We'll see if we can get somebody on to watch with us. And yeah, this will be a fun time. And yeah, if you guys want to catch up on it, I'll make a big post about this. I'll probably have it up tomorrow or Tuesday on all the platforms, but especially in the community post on YouTube. I'll just have like all the details on there, and then you can get into it using the Discord if you want to watch it. But if you just want to watch along with us at home, put the movie on, watch our reactions, we'll be streaming that. We just can't stream the movie because, you know, YouTube's no fun. So everybody's got to get their money. I can get you a link to a downloaded copy if you would like. So just we'll chat about that afterwards. I can get you a copy. So we got it. It's a movie we talk about regularly enough. I got a source. I got a file. But it's yeah, that's one of those things that I was looking at the other day too, is just doing all this. Like I know I talked to Luke about this. This is kind of inside baseball. Is just like the whole, like having that archive of downloaded acquired films. There's so many. I was looking at the hard drive today. I'm like, oh my God. Like just this year alone, I'm like, I'm going to have to swap hard drives soon. It's like, and it's a nice stack, but whenever it comes to like needing clips or anything, it is so good to have. Like it is so nice.
Yeah. So convenient. Very precious.
Yes. And yeah, well, thank you, Erica, as always, for being the best when it comes to these. She's always offering to host these streams and make them what they are. But yeah, guys, I think that's everything we got on the plate. Anybody got any big news? Anybody want to announce what's going on? Adrian, what's your plans for the week, sir?
We've got a stream coming up on Monday. Going to be continuing through Resident Evil. My little brother DM'd me after I ended the stream and was like, bro, you should have played a little bit longer and then ended. It would have been a good place to stop. And I'm like, damn it, man. Mm-hmm. So he's actually going to be dropping me some subtle hints as to, you know, what's coming up next and stuff. So more streamlined process. That's what we're looking at.
Hell yeah. Luke, any big announcements? Anything we want to keep on the agenda?
No, I mean, I'm working on a list right now, actually working on 2 lists. So those are either, depending on what our schedule is, probably be out, I'm assuming, next week at some point. And then we will have a top 10 list coming out. Dylan and I have to discuss still, but we'll expect that on Friday. And then Undertone, hopefully we get that one on Thursday to you guys. So we'll see when the show times are, but that one is certainly on our radar. And then we'll probably catch up on some things that we did miss as well. So,
yep, lots of fun stuff, lots of fun videos. Again, if you can, if you're still listening, and if you're not in the Patreon and haven't watched already, please do me a favor if you can, guys. Check out tomorrow's video that's dropping at 4 p.m. It's a little bit of a different style of a list. It's still a top 5 list, but it's again going over a subject that's similar to, I will say, the practical effects, but a little bit of a different side of the industry, a little bit of a different side of movie making that is extremely important. So I had a lot of fun with it. And the reason I'm doing it in this style, I go into a little bit at the end. So I just want to get a lot of feedback from people as much as I can. And yeah, that's going to be real important because I just want to know, is this something we should keep pursuing? Is there something I could tweak to it? Obviously, you guys, your feedback is A1 important, so please do so. And okay, I'm in. Hell yeah. I actually really want to see Hoppers. It's one of those ones I really do want to take my son to see that. It looks hilarious. Thank you, Penelope. Yes, Penelope, always great giving the feedback and everything on the comments and the Patreon, as always. I do, even if I don't respond, I do read every single one there. And I do thank you, Penelope. Your criticism was excellent. I appreciate it because, like, it's one of those things where I just want to know people's honest thoughts. So it helps. They were very constructive but supportive, and I get it. All right. So that's it. I'm done with my my little pitch, my rant.
You've emptied the chamber.
There we go. Yeah. Nah, I'm tired. I knew today was going to be rough. We were, admittedly, this was a little bit of a slightly busier weekend than we thought. We cleaned out one of the cars today, just de-winterfied it. Cause you know how it is, like with the snow and shit, just things get piled up. Having kids, Atticus has 50 million toys everywhere in there. So we cleaned that out today. It looks gorgeous, but it was definitely a lot. And then we, I don't know if you guys watched this or had any interest, but if anybody hasn't checked it out, the dinosaur, like a Netflix documentary thing they just did with
I saw that today, actually.
Did you
not
watch
the documentary, but I saw it was up there.
Yeah, it's great. It's really fun. It's my wife and I watched. My son fell asleep the first night, but like we watched it, and it's awesome. It's just really cool stuff, really fun stuff, and I think it's a fun watch. So if you enjoy dinosaurs, highly recommend it. So, alrighty, well, there you go, guys. That's all we got. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. So until next time, I'm Dylan Newell.
I'm Luke Janesco.
I'm Adrian MJ.
And remember, stay scared.
Do the hard shit, gonna do it live. Cause Splattercast kick it every day they live.